Okay, welcome back. Welcome to module number three. In this module, it's all about segments. So you're going to learn what segments are. You're going to learn how to configure a few different types of segments. And yeah, we are getting into the nitty gritty of things. So congrats on making it to module number three. So let's start with what are segments in customer insight journeys, right? You might have heard the word segments in marketing terms, but what is it actually in customer insight? Segments basically lets your let your group your customers based on different types of attributes, right? It could be demographic, it could be transactional, or it could be behavioral attributes. Basically, you are going, hey, how can I market a particular contact in my CRM? It could be contacts who live in Australia. That's one specific segment, right? Contacts who have made a previous purchase from me. That's a specific types of segments. Contacts who have subscribed to a particular subscription topic. So you are essentially using attributes to really filter down on the contacts that you want to target, right? So I'm in the customer insight journeys. Under audience on the left hand side, I'm in segments. I've just gone ahead and created one very quickly, but what we're going to do is maybe start with, having a look at the one that I've just created now, and then we're going to go and click on new segments. But for now, I just want you to pay attention to this example one that I've just created now. So segments, if we focus our eyes on the right hand side, it's all about learning about what types of, I guess, groups that you can create in segments. So you can do attributes. So attributes means dataverse, right? So in CRM, you have different types of tables. Tables means like basically you have the contacts table, which is right here. You have the leads table. You have all of these different types of tables, right? So that you can actually filter down into. You also have related tables in here as well. So it always starts with the target audience. Always starts with either a contact or a lead, right? And then once the contact is selected, you can choose any related tables, relationships, basically, that you can filter down onto. And then you've got behavioral ones. So these are things that are the contact has done, right? Once you start, you may not start with behavioral ones yet, especially if you are a business who's configuring this for the first time. But as you start to send more emails and more SMS and all that, you start to capture a lot of data, right? A lot of behavioral data. Things like, email. If I click on email, you have different types of behaviors. You've got emails being delivered. You've got links being clicked. You've got emails being opened. You've got emails being sent. If an email has been blocked by the mailing server, that also can be a behavior as well. You've got different. If you're doing anything to do with events, you can do events like you can do behavioral things like, the marketing events check in. You can do registration has been cancelled or the registration has been created. A user has signed up to your marketing forms. A user has checked in. It's all behavioral, triggers. Same thing with text messages. A text message has been opened or a text message has been clicked on. A link in that text message has been clicked on as well. So there's different types of attributes or behavioral that you can use to create a segment. And the last one is the segment one. So you can do if once you create a particular segment, you can also use that segment in another segment. At the moment, it's zero because this is the only segments that I have. You can have a segment here where you have contacts are active, and then you can sort of include those segments as well. A few other things that you can do is if you click on the three dots here, you can also do segments. You can just manually include contacts that you already have. So this is a manual one. You're selecting specific contacts to be in this segment. And then the other one is the exclude contacts. Maybe you don't want certain contacts to be in a segment. So you want to exclude them from receiving those emails or SMS that you'll be creating. So that's where it starts, right? It's learning what options or what criteria is available to you when you are creating segments. To summarize, you can use any of the custom tables or out of the box tables that you have. Remember, it always starts with a contact or lead, and then you can filter a bit more into the types of relationships or the lookups for those of you who are familiar with database, lookups or relationships that relate to the lead or contact. So you can filter more down into it. So in this particular one, I'm saying here is I'm looking at the contact status, which is just a field, and I'm saying the contact is active. That's one criteria, and the related account on the contact is Contoso Ltd. So what I'm saying here really is, if I click on a particular contact and I'll find one that's Contoso, yeah, I'll just click on this one. So what I'm saying is the contact needs to be active. So if I click here, it won't show me the status. No, it won't show. I think the status is hidden. But anyway, basically what I'm saying is this contact is active, and the company that this contact relates to is Contoso Ltd. So there you go. You got says is active. The account is also Contoso Ltd. You can add other things as well, but just to sort of as an example, right? What we're saying is these contacts belong to this account. If I save this, and if I click on the settings area, we have two options here. The number one is automatic refresh. So what this means is if I make the segments live, and then tomorrow if I create a new contact and that contact is active and that contact belongs to Contoso Ltd, it will automatically go into the segments because I'm automatically checking for any contacts that meet these two criteria, right? The other one is a static snapshot, and what this means is from right now, as soon as I put this segment into ready to use and make it live, all of the criteria, all the contacts that have met this criteria are the only contacts that I will like in the segment. So static, right? It's a one-time thing. As I say, segment membership is fixed, up and published. No automatic is updated. So both of these refresh rates are applicable depending on what you're trying to achieve, right? If you have a business where you want to automatically add contacts and automatically opt them out based on the criteria that you set, it's very handy to have the automatic refresh so that you're not doing any work. You've got all the criteria set up one time, and they also come in to the segments and they go out of other segments. As long as they meet the conditions that you've set up, the contact will always be in there. If the contact for some reason moves to another account instead of Contoso, then that contact will be removed from the segment as well. It will be a perfect time to use automatic refresh. There could be other business use cases where you just want a static snapshot. Maybe you're doing a very special promotion for contacts who have spent. Maybe they might be your VIP contacts, who have spent a lot of money on your on your business, right? And you want to capture them one time in a segment, but you want to make it static so that it's a one-time thing. You can keep using it as long as they are still your they are VIP for you. You can do that as well. The other thing to get to know is the time zone. Time zone is very important actually because it's all about just making sure that you configure to the where your business is. Universal is okay if your business is serving wide range of different audiences from different country. But if you're based in Australia, New Zealand, the UK, just put the right time zone. It will not hurt, right, to get that right as well. And then if we click on this query assist here, this is I'm going to say ChatGPT, but basically it's a way for you to use AI to describe what your segment is. It's actually great. It's learning a lot. Just make sure if you're using the ChatGPT or the query assist to help you create the segments that you validate what it creates for you. Because I've played around with it a little bit. It's great and it's learning a lot. It's not always accurate, right? So play around with it. You can say contacts who have open email, contacts who've clicked on the email link. It's basically giving you different types of examples based on what the elements that we've just talked about in terms of attributes, behaviors, or segments. But just always validate that that's actually what you wanted before you publish and all that. That's in general what segments are, right? So now that I've shown you an example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a brand new segment. So I'm going to click on segment and I'm going to click on new segment at the very top. and then you are going to see this pop up here. It's going to say new segment. You're going to have to add a name. You have to name your segment, of course. And then under the target audience, as I mentioned, the target audience will always have to be either from a contact or lead, right? And then the query assist is what we just talked about. You can actually use AI to create the segment for you. So as soon as I start typing in contacts, you'll start to see the different types of elements that are available to you, all scenarios. So contacts who've opened an email, contacts whose last name is Smith, contacts who prefer Monday meeting, contacts with the financial industry and lower. As you add more attributes to your contacts, you can start to actually use the query assist as well to create this for you. For this one, I'm going to say it's really important to give a nice, unique name for the when you're creating a segment, so that your team understands what this particular segment is. So maybe we'll say, let's see, let's go to the contact and see if we can find anything interesting that we can filter based on. Maybe if we go to the view and see if there's anything that we can potentially do here. Okay, so what companies do we have here? We've done Contoso for the example one. Maybe we can do, let's see, yeah, contacts whose account or company is from, we'll pick this one. It's from, what does it say? Claremont. All right, so we're going to say Claremont. Oh, this is a contact. Sorry, my bad. The company is actually on the right hand side. So if you go to the contact, you'll see the company's there, and the company's name is actually, this loads, ReCloud. Cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a segment for all of the contacts who belong to this organization or this account, which is ReCloud, right? So if we go to related contacts, let's see how many contacts are in this company. There's three people, right? We've got these contacts here, so we should be able to see Taylor, Thompson, and these two above in the segments that we're creating, right? So we're going to name the segment and say contacts who are in Claremont, maybe say account. Cool. And of course, the target audience is going to be contact, and I'm going to create. And once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and click on elements, and then I'm going to click on contact, and then I'm going to say, because the account is a lookup, what I mean by that is if I go back to the contacts that we had, if we look at the summary tab in here, we have a lookup field that's going to the account table, and so that becomes a relationship, right? So you have a contact and it's got a relationship to a company, and the company is ReCloud. So we need to, when we're doing the attributes, we need to go and from the target audience, we need to start from the contact and then go to the account to grab the account name, right? So we're going to click on this, going to add that in. Oh, so we need to go to accounts, and then we need to click on plus, and then in here we can add a custom path, or we can say we want it from the account to the contact. But we're going to click on custom path, and we're going to say the related table actually is from contact, and the attribute is the company name. So it's going from contact to account, and then we're going to set the path as well, but it's actually coming from the account table as well. So the account is, and we're going to paste that there. It's ReCloud. And then we're also going to say we're only interested in contacts that are active, right? We're not interested in contacts that are inactive. So we're going to go contacts, and then we're going to use the status field. We're going to add it to group one, and we're going to say that status is active. We're going to save, and then we're going to check settings just to make sure that I'm happy with automatic refresh. So what this means is tomorrow or today, if a new contact is created and that contact is active and that contact's account is ReCloud, then they will automatically be added into the segment. I am going to change the time zone to Melbourne though, because that is where that's where I'm going to say the business is, and then I'm going to save this. and then I'm going to hit ready to use, and then that's it. Really, it's simple as that. So once you've done, now what's going to happen in the background is it's going to create and look for all of the contacts that meet these criteria, and then we will actually be able to see those three contacts that we saw in here, right? I'm going to skip for now for the feedback, Microsoft. Thank you. We're going to click on, what was it? We're going to click on the Recloud company. We're going to go related, and we're going to say contacts, and we should see three contacts that belong to this account, right? So in here, once this is live, if we go to members and insights, we should be able to see those three contacts in here now that we've created the segment. You can see here the three contacts that belong to that actually meet the criteria as Kayla, and the other two contacts, and that matches as what we can see here as well. So you can kind of see how segments can be created and how it works. If you want to do a behavior one, you can do a behavior one as well. As I mentioned, when you are starting off with customer insights, you're not going to have a lot of behavioral, elements, right? Because you need to feed the platform lots and lots of data, and if you want to use behavioral ones, and then once you start to send in hundreds and 200 plus emails to contacts, and you start to get the behavioral elements rolling, then maybe you can use behavioral as well. But most of the time, you can filter based on what you've got in your lead or contact as well. Now that you've created your segment, what are you gonna do? Well, that's the next stage, right? So the next module is going to be looking at, okay, we have our audience. How can we put this audience into a journey so we can either send them an email or SMS? So that's the next learning curve as well. I'm going to add some articles in regards to creating and managing segments. So have a look at those as well. But I'll see you in the next module.